So I made a video yesterday. I don't even know what day it is. I think it might be Wednesday, about 9 p.m. West Coast time. This week's been a little bit of a blur. I mentioned in a video yesterday. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I mentioned that the whoever it was that I was talking about, it's like their undoing was going to be self-inflicted. It wasn't going to come from external forces. And I just started thinking about all the areas where we are seeing that. The election of Zoran Mamdani as the incoming mayor of New York City, and who came out so hard against that. Billionaires and millionaire donors from both parties, Republicans across the board, right-wing media across the board, establishment DNC AIPAC Democrats. At a time, then they're all screaming about socialism. They're all screaming about socialism. And Donald Trump is like, I don't want to hear about the affordability. And, those are the groups that are going to be responsible for bringing socialism to the United States. It's not going to be brought to the United States from people on the left. It's going to be demanded by the electorate because of the actions of elected Republicans, Republican presidents, AIPAC, the DNC, establishment Democrats, corporations, and billionaires. The actions of those groups, entities, demographics, that's what's going to push the population and the electorate to a point where they are going to demand socialism because they're all just doing their bullshit unfettered. And they are making it utterly impossible for the bottom 90% of this country to have a life, to be able to afford to just fucking live without unimaginable amounts of daily stress and anxiety linked to their finances. When you exist 24/7 under significant financial stress and anxiety, you can't do that forever. You can't. And then Republican Evangelical Christianity, man. We just saw the baby food experiment. And we are seeing pastors and reverends crash out in response to that. They are going to be responsible for the destruction of Republican Evangelical Christianity in the United States. It's not going to come from the left. It's going to be self-inflicted. It's going to be self-inflicted. Trump and his authoritarianist bullshit. We saw the beginning and the end of that last Tuesday night, Election Day. It was a nationwide repudiation of Donald Trump and his administration and ICE and Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Tom Homan. It was a nationwide repudiation of Donald Trump's authoritarian bullshit that was helped along by, we had I don't know what it was, a 55-day long government shutdown. And during that shutdown, Donald Trump tore down the entire fucking East Wing of the White House without permission so that he could build a $300 million gold-plated ballroom that nobody who was affected by the shutdown is ever going to have access to. And establishment DNC AIPAC Democrats are going to be responsible for the destruction of the Democratic Party because the airlines put on pressure, their corporate donors put on pressure, and 8 of them fucking caved and capitulated with the Republicans when they were winning. When their base was perceiving them as fighting against Donald Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate. They fucking caved anyway. all of this that I've talked about so far is in service to capitalism. And capitalism, the 2025 version of American crony capitalism, is going to be similarly responsible for ushering in socialism into this country. And it's going to be self-inflicted. All of these organizations and entities are going too far. And none of them represent the interests of the bottom 90% of this country. And all of them, their destruction is going to be self-inflicted. That's just here at home. Look at what the current Israeli government and military has done to Israel's world standing over the last 25 months. They are destroying Israel. They're destroying it by what they are doing to Palestinian civilians inside the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, and in their constant bombardments of countries that surround them. Positive perception of Israel and the Israeli government in the United States is going to be polling in the single digits by the time the 2028 election comes around, because of the actions of the Israeli government and because of the actions of people like Jonathan Greenblatt, who's the head of the Anti-Defamation League here in the United States. The Anti-Defamation League. Jonathan Greenblatt has defamed Zoran Mamdani every single fucking day for the last 6 months. He is an Islamophobic bigot. Anyone who disagrees with him, he screams at them that they are anti-Semitic and that they hate Jews and that they hate Israel in the face of even the slightest criticism. Jonathan Greenblatt is destroying Israel's image and support in the United States as much as the Israeli government and the Israeli military are. They're destroying themselves from within, and it is all self-inflicted. It is all self-inflicted. And they are all going to be responsible for ushering in a golden age of socialism in the United States, because people under 40 can't afford to get married, buy homes, have children, raise families. Fuck, they can't even afford to rent apartments without roommates. And corporations are bleeding us fucking dry by $5 here, $10 there, $15, $20, $25. They are bleeding us dry. And they, self-inflicted, are going to destroy their own consumer base. There aren't going to be people left in the United States who can support these businesses, who can support these companies, because of their policies and practices. And meanwhile, the Republicans want to abolish the entire executive branch, remove anything from government that provides any benefit of any kind to the American people, but keep just enough government so that they can dictate what your kids are allowed to learn about slavery, K through 12. So that they can dictate who you're allowed to love, who you're allowed to fuck, and how you're allowed to fuck them, and who you're allowed to marry. And every single one of your kids, when they go to first grade, second grade, third grade, 10 Commandments are going to be up on the wall and a Bible is going to be on the teacher's desk. What do they think we're going to do? What do they think we are all going to do? It's going to end poorly for all of them.